I'm sure you've heard the phrase Debbie Downer before, right? It's a common expression that's been around forever to describe a negative, pessimistic person. Someone who is constantly bringing down the mood of a group with negative comments or a pessimistic outlook, which often ruins the fun or enthusiasm of others. You'll be out with friends and one of them always has something negative to say. There's always a problem, there's always a situation. Come on, stop being such a Debbie Downer. Well, what if I told you that this phrase was actually relatively new? In fact, so new that it didn't exist before 2004. At least, that's what we're told to believe. It turns out this phrase hasn't been around forever, as a lot of you probably believed. But as it goes now, this phrase came from a Saturday Night Live sketch from 2004, but many online swear that it existed before that. Now, there are many people that remember using this phrase long before 2004. Some claim that it was back in the 90s, some claim even earlier, some even recalling it as a common slang term. Diving deeper, there is nothing online regarding its existence before 2004, which is deeply unsettling to many. I found many instances for Negative Nancy, Negative Nellie, but not one for Debbie Downer, outside of a person actually named Debbie Downer, wife of Edward Downer, who were guests at the Senate floor in California in 1945. So it seems like everyone is apparently misremembering knowing this phrase. It seemingly didn't exist before 2004, and there's unfortunately no evidence to argue otherwise other than our memories. Did this exist before SNL? And if it did, where did you hear it? It feels like there was a time before the internet, and now there's a time after, and this great divide between the two is still affecting us to this day. Interestingly enough, this isn't the first phrase I've covered with a similar story. Years ago, I talked about how the bucket list was a term that apparently didn't exist until the 2007 movie The Bucket List. A ton of people, to this day, claim to remember that phrase from back in the day, and yet again, there isn't any evidence to prove it. It's honestly so creepy how this keeps happening.